What's going on? How's everyone doing?
Shout out to Colin. Everybody else who's cool with Colin.
Chunky! I didn't say.
Get your popcorn and your Coca-Cola and relax.
Anyway, tell Colin I'm ready.
What's going on? This is Colin. How's everybody doing? I hope you're having a great night so far. Happy Saturday. This is weird. I don't usually say happy Saturday. I'm usually off tonight. But Heather is having her pickle party, so yeah, so that's happening right now. So we moved date night to tomorrow night. Here I am. All right. You guys want to watch some court? I want to watch some court. Let's watch some court. I've got one case tonight. Just one. It is right about exactly an hour, so we're gonna have some fun. It is Debbie Davis. I saw this. This happened on Tuesday, I believe, and when I saw it, I immediately thought this is gonna be perfect for a weekend. You know, courts are closed. I always struggle putting videos together for weekends because I'm going into my vault, and so we're just gonna do it. We have Debbie Davis as the prosecutor in the 3B in front of Judge Middleton. And yeah, so let's do it. Like I said, I've only watched about 20 minutes of this. This is an hour, so we're pretty much going to be watching it together for the first time. And yeah, that's all I have. That's all I have. You guys want to watch? I already said that. Man, you can tell that I'm out of it. All right, before I hit that play button, you know what to do. Hit the like and subscribe to your jump kick backflips. Let's go. What's up, Hutch?
All right, our next matter that was scheduled for today is People versus Jaden Wayne Christner. Mr. Gibson is here and Mr. Christner is here. And the prosecutor, Deborah Davis, is here. And are you Kendon Berg?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been at the Marshal post?
About 3 years now.
We live across paths.
It's usually Calvin County.
I remember seeing your name before this. But all right, you've been a trooper for 7 years?
Yep.
Well, welcome to Centerville 3B District Court. Are you Jaden Wayne Christner?
Yes, Your Honor.
And again, I know you, but I needed to identify you for the record. The file number here is 25461FY. Mr. Christner is charged with assault with a dangerous weapon. Again, I'll read it as it's written. Did make an assault upon Damon Stabler with a dangerous weapon, to wit a metallic bar, but without intending to commit the crime of murder or great bodily harm. So this is commonly known as assault with a dangerous weapon or felonious assault. It is a felony punishable by up to 4 years imprisonment or a fine of up to $2,000. You're charged as a fourth habitual offender, which I think would make it a maximum 15-year offense. You're also charged with a second count of assault and battery, alleging that you made an assault or assault and battery upon Damon Stabler. That's a misdemeanor punishable by up to 93 days in jail and a fine of up to $500. Your attorney, Mr. Paul Gibson, is here and prosecutor Deborah Davis. Ms. Davis, what's our status here?
Yeah, the people are ready to proceed with the preliminary examination. The offer was made for him to waive the bind over in exchange for a felonious assault as a second habitual offender offer. Dismiss the assault and battery, dismiss the other habitual offender notice.
That was the same offer as when I was here last, and the defendant declined that. You're ready to proceed, Mr. Gibson?
Yes, it's my understanding that the defendant rejected the offer and wishes to proceed with the preliminary exam.
The plea offer is withdrawn.
Yes, the offer is withdrawn. We're going forward with the prelim.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate it. And welcome to the live stream.
Your Honor, may I, for the record, the defendant indicates that I don't know if the report is available, but I don't know that there would be time for me to review the report in reference to today's case, but there was a police report that was referenced in the police report for this case. And so I have asked the prosecuting attorney's office if I could get a copy of that, but I have, as of this lunchtime, I had not received it yet.
Okay. What does that entail?
Well, the report number, it says is 54-5406-24, because I think that the police may have been called to this residence on multiple occasions within about a 24-hour period. And so I think this may have been they may have been at this house within 24 hours and there was a prior report.
Do you have access to that?
I'm sure we can get that from MSP. I guess I did not see a request for that. I'm not sure how Mr. Gibson requested that. I don't think it has any bearing on the allegations of this particular one as far as preliminary examination goes.
How did you request it?
I had just sent an email to the prosecutor's office indicating that, you know, I had come across information saying that there was
This isn't a bench trial. This is a preliminary exam. I probably should have said that at the beginning. It's a preliminary exam. So they're just trying to find if they have enough to move it to circuit court. What is that? Probable cause? More likely than not. Something. I know I saw Rob's in the chat. He'll probably tell us. But yeah, so there's no guilty or not guilty right here. This is just let's move it to circuit court or let's dismiss the charges. It's because it's a felony. I mean, he beat somebody up. Well, allegedly beat somebody up with a metal pipe, and it's not his first time doing it. I think they said habitual fourth. Yeah, he's 15 years. He's looking at some time. Phil, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships. I appreciate it, Phil. Welcome to the 5 new members. Phil, you're awesome. Thank you.
Data email.
that I sent it to the prosecutor.
Yeah.
I think it may have been, I can't remember. I don't have the exact date of when I sent the email. I thought it was last week, but with,
Can I say something, Your Honor?
Just a moment.
Thank you, Melissa. Welcome
Who'd
to
you
the
send
family.
it to?
I thought I sent it to Josh and to the prosecutor's main email address. And Josh Robert.
Mr. Gibson, are you willing to allow Mr.
That is correct. For those of you that came in a little late and missed the intro, I am live tonight because I'm taking tomorrow off. Heather has a party tonight, so we just swapped date night. So date night is tomorrow night, and I am streaming tonight. There we go.
Christner to speak?
Yes.
Mr. Christner, what did you want to say?
When we were standing in the pretrial conference last week, he asked him face to face for it. He asked the assistant prosecuting attorney. And the assistant's reply was send it to my email.
All right. Well, this got adjourned. This was up before I left. And then it got set for the 15th and then set for prelim today. So I've still kept it, which was fine. All right, we got all afternoon. I don't want to have to do this and then find out we got an ineffective assistance of counsel or failed to provide discovery. Let's see if we can find that report and give them a chance to review it and then start at that point. So we'll take a recess to see if we can find it.
Your Honor, the trooper will go out to his car and access it and get it emailed to us. So
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be in recess. Everybody can be at ease. I'm not going anywhere. We'll take a short break. All right, we're back in the matter of People versus Jaden.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's on the defense right there. He didn't have all the discovery. What Judge Simpson wouldn't even have let this go to preliminary exam. He didn't have everything. Why is he here? He should have made sure he had that before he walked into this courtroom and reviewed it and was ready. I'm going to be very blunt right now. I do not like this defense attorney, and I said this in the last time I covered him. It was actually another case with Debbie Davis. There's very few people that I watch in court that I actually get a bad feeling about, and I don't like Mr. Gibson. I just don't. So if I sound like I'm overly critical of him, it's because I just get bad vibes from when and mainly because I just seen him do some things that are just like, why are you doing that? And if me just watching makes me not like somebody, it's like, I don't know, I just have a bad feeling about him. He's never done anything to me personally. I'm gonna put that out there. He might be a great guy. I have no idea. But just watching him in the, many times I've seen him in Judge Middleton's court, I just have a negative, I just have negative thoughts about him. That's all. That's all. So I will apologize ahead of time.
Wayne Christner, the file number is 25461 FY. We took a recess and the Trooper Berg was able to get.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and address this now. Bigon's fine. Bigon's having computer issues. A couple of people have asked me, so that's all I know. I haven't talked to him personally. I've just seen his. I think he made a community post earlier, and then the last couple nights on Discord, he's dropped a message. But yeah, he's having computer issues. I believe he is getting a new computer tomorrow. I think that's what his message said in his community post. So he should be back tomorrow if all goes well. But it wouldn't surprise me if we don't see him till Monday night. If he's getting a new computer tomorrow, he might not have everything set up by the time he goes live. But we'll see. Hopefully he's back tomorrow.
2 additional reports from the state police for the defendant. We've had an opportunity to review them. Is that correct, Mr. Gibson?
I think so. You had said 2 reports. I guess I'm assuming I have, if it is 2, I guess I'm assuming I have both of them.
They were in the same email.
It's 2 separate dates, I think, but they're all in the same message.
There's a 2-page report and a 5-page report. One is the
Okay, I think, yes, I have 7.
Happy birthday, Deborah. Thank you for spending some of your day with us. I do appreciate that. It always makes me feel good when it's people's birthdays and they hang out with us. I don't know, it just makes me feel good. So I do appreciate that. And happy birthday.
Pages, so, okay, yes, I must have them both.
Okay, Ms. Davis, are you ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. You wish to make an opening statement?
No, Your Honor.
May call your witness.
Your Honor, the people call Damon Stabler.
Mr. Stabler, would you come right up here into the witness box? Right up in here. Good afternoon, sir. Would you please raise your right hand? You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Would you state your name and spell your first name?
My name's Damon William Stabler. First name D-A-M-O-N.
And your last name?
Stabler, S-T-A-B-L-E-R.
Thank you. Ms. Davis?
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Stabler, did you have the opportunity to come into contact with a Jaden Christner on November 7th, 2024?
Yes.
And where were you?
The first contact I had went down to what I believe to be one of his properties,
In what township or city is that located in?
Montville.
In Montville, is it Constantine Township?
It may be, actually, I think, the cutoff is Vistula Road right there, so Constantine Township.
And that's located in St. Joseph County, Michigan?
Yes.
And why did you have contact with Mr. Christner that day?
I had went down there, not looking to speak with him, but to talk to, what you call him, his friend or his acquaintance or just a guy that was living there. And he was there.
And was this on the 7th or on the 8th?
There was contact both days.
Okay. So Do you see the person that you believe is Jaden Christner here in the courtroom today?
Yes,
And can you describe what he's wearing? Point him out for the record, please.
white jacket and black hair.
And may the record reflect he's identified the defendant?
It may.
Was there some sort of a disagreement between you and Mr. Christner?
Yeah, you can call it that.
And tell me what happened.
We were just going back and forth. I was on his property and I shouldn't be there, and I was upset and just kind of standing my ground, didn't really want to leave. You know, I kind of just wanted some answers.
When you say you weren't supposed to be there, what do you mean by that?
Well, he just kept telling me to leave, but I didn't right away. You know, I was trying to be reasonable at first, but then I got a little loud. You know, we all were kind of starting to argue.
And was this on the 8th?
There was basically the exact same incident on the morning of the 8th.
Okay, so let's talk about the morning of November 8th, 2024. Where were you in relation to Mr. Christner on that morning?
I had showed up again to his house.
And when you went to his house, where were you at? Like the yard, the road? Where?
The front entrance driveway right off the road.
And what happened when you were there?
I was at first trying to make amends for the night before. And I was kind of just not worried about the rest of the situation. I'd wanted some of my property back and we just weren't seeing eye to eye. He'd told me again to leave and I was a little loud and upset. Probably said some things. I can't remember word for word what I said, but I'm sure, you know, I said some things I probably shouldn't have, you know, maybe like fuck you, or like, you know, screw this. I don't like, this is bullshit. I just want my stuff, you know.
So you guys had a property dispute?
Yes, you could call it that.
And can you elaborate on that?
At that moment, I didn't care about my stuff anymore that had been stolen. I kind of just wanted to make amends. I told him I wanted my one Optima battery back, which is like a $300 car battery. I know he had it, and I just wanted to just try and recoup as much of my property as I could at that moment.
Okay.
And he wasn't listening to me. He didn't want to give it to me, and I should have just left at that moment and just
Did
let it go.
you contact police?
The police had showed up there, after I'd come back again. I didn't call the police or anything.
And before the police got there, tell me what happened.
We got into an argument because I came back again.
Still
I
the
told-
same time
yeah.
we're talking about, so it was one time going back on the 8th?
I went down there to the house that morning. We left, I went back to my house. I had seen him drive by my house and I got back in my vehicle and followed him back down to his house again, wanting to know why.
All right, when
You're
you're
checking.
saying him, are you referring to Mr. Christner or the guy that lived there?
I'm referring to Jaden.
All right, who was his acquaintance or the person that lived at this house?
His name was Bobby.
And Bobby lived at this house in Constantine Township that Mr. Christner owned?
As far as I know, he lived in a camper in his backyard.
Were there,
Well,
Any-
I mean, and so Mr. Christner lived at the actual house?
I don't know where he lives. He was there and said he was the property owner.
All right.
were there any verbal threats that were made?
A little bit. I'm just gonna, get beat up or something along those lines, and I just wasn't really listening. I was pretty upset at the time, and
Well, the verbal threats were made by him or by you?
kind of both of us, but I didn't act on any of them. But I didn't say I'm gonna punch him. I didn't say I'm gonna hit him. I didn't say I'm gonna shoot him. I didn't say anything like that. We were in an angry demeanor towards each other.
Did you attempt to videotape any of this?
I did attempt to. And-
What happened there?
I didn't really get any footage on my phone to be able to do anything, and I think that probably upset him. I'm sure it did. It would upset me. If somebody was trying to record me doing something stupid when I was upset. And I think he tried to grab my phone from me, and that upset me. And then I got out of my truck. I should have just turned around and went back home at that moment.
So you were inside your vehicle. Were you by the roadway?
Yeah, I was parked in front of the house.
And Mr. Christner was not in a vehicle, or he was?
Not at that moment. He'd walked over to my vehicle and attempted to grab my cell phone from me.
What else happened?
I got out of the vehicle really upset and confronted him, and we were in each other's face, and I was really upset. But then a couple minutes had went by. I assumed that maybe somebody called the police, and I had enough time to calm down that I was trying to, at that moment, a last ditch effort to be like, okay, you know what, this is retarded. He was clearly upset still, which I completely understand. And then the state trooper had showed up.
Did you give a statement to the state trooper on the day when this all happened?
You could call it a statement. I didn't really refer to it as a statement. In my personal recollection, I had just told him the situation that had happened, basically the exact same thing I just told you guys here.
Was there any objects thrown or used, or any physical touching between the parties?
I did not physically touch anybody and had no intentions to, but I was struck in the leg with a metal bar of some sort. I believe it was a jack handle.
Can you describe it for the court?
Maybe a 3-foot.
Eileen, is it your birthday too? I'm seeing a lot of people say happy birthday. I was just scrolling back to see if you said it was your birthday, and I can't find it. If it is your birthday, happy birthday, Eileen. Thank you so much for spending some of your day to hang out with us. I feel like I just said that. But really, happy birthday, Eileen.
1-inch round piece of metal piping. Maybe it was white in color or tan.
And how were you struck with that?
I was facing away from him, my back turned to him, and I was hitting, I can't remember if it was my left or right leg.
Were you injured?
It was just a bruise. I think if he really wanted to harm me, he might have aimed for the head or something, but I think he was just really trying to push me to get out of there.
And was there anybody else around when this happened?
I think he might have had somebody with him, but he wasn't involved in our situation at all. He kind of just kept his distance and didn't really want to be a part of what was going on.
Do you recall talking about something like a Mountain Dew bottle?
Yeah, I think when I forgot about that at this moment, but now that you mention it, when he had tried to grab my cell phone, I had a drink in my truck. I can't remember if he exactly picked it up and grabbed it and sprayed it on purpose, or if it was just in the way in the middle and got hit and all over the place. But it was like a can that exploded essentially.
Did it get on your clothing or your person?
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
I just got sprayed in the face, got my hair a little wet, my hands sticky, and the whole inside of my truck was all sticky.
At what point did the police arrive, if you remember?
Basically right at the moment that I got struck in the leg, right at that exact moment, just about.
I don't believe I have any further questions at this time.
Thank you. Mr. Gibson?
Yeah, I don't know how I feel yet. I see a lot of your guys' comments. I'm gonna reserve mine. I am. I don't know. I want to see what Mr. Gibson asks, how he can put more of the pieces of this puzzle together. Now, there's a reason why the defendant rejected the plea deal, and I mean, I thought it was because he's looking at 15 years. He's like, I didn't do anything worth 15 years. I don't know, but we'll see. We got a super chat, Bill. Thank you so much, Phil. Many happy and healthy returns for the birthday ladies. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Bill. I appreciate that, and I agree.
So the incident that was referred to as being the night before, would that be on November 7th, 2024 at approximately between 11 and 12 o'clock at night?
Yes,
So we're talking, it was around midnight, correct?
yeah, give or take. It was late at night.
Now, when reference was made to the incident the next morning, was that on Friday, November 8th at approximately 8 a.m.?
Yes,
So if you say that you woke up and went there the next morning, I mean, that was accurate, that it was approximately 8 to 12 hours later, you had been there the night before,
Yeah.
correct?
yeah,
Now, when you were there at the nighttime on the 7th, was there a police, state trooper that came that night?
yes, there was.
And were you interviewed by him?
Yes,
So you talked with him for a while?
a little bit, yeah.
Now, had you been drinking alcohol on November 7th?
Yeah, probably.
Were you intoxicated that night?
I wouldn't say intoxicated.
Do you recall how much you had to drink?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you better not say you're intoxicated. You just said you drove over there. Deborah, thank you so much. It's your birthday and you're super chatting. I appreciate it. And yeah, you're welcome. And thank you. And you're welcome. Thank you. You're welcome.
When on November 8th, in the morning time, did you have a clear memory of what had occurred the night before?
Yeah, perfect memory. I can remember everything flawlessly.
Were you drinking on November 8th?
No,
So on the incident that occurred at the nighttime on November 7th, did you have any injuries from that incident?
yeah, but it did not involve Jaden.
Okay. Where did you have injuries?
I am so glad you said that, saying, and I didn't have to. I was trying to hold my tongue when I was saying I don't like Mr. Gibson, and that's exactly right there. Right there's the reason.
From the nighttime incident on November 7th?
Objection, Your Honor, is the relevance of this.
Well, there's photographs that the police took on November 8th. And so I'm trying to figure out if they were photographing maybe the same areas or different areas between the two different. There was photographs taken on the 7th and there was photographs taken on the 8th. It's my understanding. So I guess I'm just asking if what he recalls about the two sets of photographs.
All right, that I guess gives it some relevance, so I'll overrule the objection.
So do you recall where they were taking photographs of you on November 7th and the nighttime incident?
Yeah, I do.
What parts, where were there potential injuries that were photographed?
I was struck in the face at the nighttime incident. My
Okay,
only physical contact with Jaden was the morning time incident.
did you have any injuries to your legs in the November 7th incident, the nighttime incident?
No,
Now, when you came to the residence on November 7th, the nighttime incident, were you riding a motorcycle?
yeah, I was.
At some point in time on November 7th, did you get into an accident where the motorcycle fell?
No, it was a really messed up driveway, a really rocky driveway. The motorcycle fell over on its own. I wasn't even touching it.
Okay, so you're saying that you did you get into a motorcycle accident at the property on the 7th?
No, my bike fell over.
Okay. So you're saying you had gotten off the motorcycle, but at some point in time, it did accidentally fall on November 7th?
It fell on its own or somebody knocked it over.
Okay. Was the motorcycle damaged, do you believe, from that fall?
Yes,
Where was it damaged?
on the side. Scrapes, scratches, some broken plastic, dirt on it.
So when you say that you wanted to make amends for the night before, what does that mean? I guess make amends. I guess I'm not quite clear what you mean. Did you do something that you regretted on November 7th?
I wish I would have just never went there at all. Yeah. I wish I would have just chalked up my losses and not confronted the guys. You know, I didn't get anything back out of it except all this kind of trouble. So yeah, I regret going there at all, but I did say I was intoxicated. I wasn't very drunk, but I had gotten myself worked up enough that I felt like I could go down there and maybe talk to him, and it just didn't work out.
So do you believe that you were feeling a little bit of the effects of alcohol on November 7th? You said you did feel intoxicated?
Yes.
And you were very angry on November 7th.
Yeah, but I didn't go down there trying to pick a fight.
Did you threaten Jaden Christner on November 7th?
No,
Did you threaten him on November 8th?
no. I never went down there to even talk to Jaden or even see him.
In the nighttime incident on November 7th, did you get into a physical confrontation with someone else other than Jaden Christner?
Yes.
Would you describe that as a fight?
No, because I was just struck a couple of
Okay.
times. I didn't try fighting back.
So where were you struck?
I was struck in the face.
Okay. So you're not alleging that Jaden Christner in any way injured your face? Is that correct?
You know, my recollection of the whole incident is a little, I thought this was done and over with up until about a week ago. So I haven't thought of this situation at all until then. I thought it was all washed over. I thought this was dropped. But I am giving you statements to the best of my memory.
Okay. So on November 8th, it's my understanding that you're
Rob, that's kind of where my head is right now too. Yeah. Oh yeah, I stopped for the super chat, but yeah, Eileen for Deborah, Carol, and me. Thank you. I appreciate it, Eileen, and yeah, again, happy birthday.
saying on November 8th, you were struck by Jaden Christner with a metal pole, right?
Yes,
And where did he hit you with the metal pole?
in the leg.
In the left, you're not sure which leg, was it below the knee?
I think so.
Okay, so I guess I'm just trying to clarify though, are you alleging that Jaden Christner struck you in the face or head area anywhere?
I can't remember. I think he might have that morning, but I don't remember. I can't say for sure, and I don't even care anymore.
Okay. So did you believe that that Jaden Christner had stolen something from you?
He didn't steal it from me, but he wouldn't give it back. But that's not really why I went down there. At that time, I was like, can I just have it back? And he acted like he had no idea what I was talking about, which he knew. And
Did you believe that Bobby Bryant had stolen something from you?
yeah, yes, I did.
Okay, and you thought that he had brought whatever he had stolen to that home where you were at?
I'm not saying he brought it there, but I knew he was there at the residence where I could find him and talk to him. I'm not saying he brought any stolen property back to that house, but maybe he did. I don't know.
So you said that when you were there on the 8th, you said that there was someone at least.
All right, for those of you just walking in, I will try to put the story together as much as I understand it. I could be off a little bit, and if I am, you guys can correct me. But this is what I believe happened. The guy on the witness stand is the victim. He's the one who got hit. He went over to the defendant's house. Wait, didn't they say it wasn't the defendant's house, or was it? That whole part of the story was kind of confusing. But we'll just call it where the defendant was, because the defendant had the victim's battery. He said it was like a $300 car battery, I think is what he said. So he went to get his property back. When he got there, he got assaulted, but there's a lot more to the story where the victim may or may not have been drunk. He may or may not have kind of started the fight. He just got hit with a crowbar. And I'm guessing that's what they're going off of, is the charge as being hit with a crowbar. So, but the guy stole his property allegedly, and the victim went to get it back and got hit. That's what I'm understanding as of right now.
One other person there with Jaden Christner. If I told you that person's name was Herman Moore, do you have any reason to believe otherwise?
I have no reason to believe otherwise.
And so you definitely saw another person that was there on the 8th that was, I guess you could say, a friend or acquaintance of Jaden Christner?
Yeah.
Did you see more than one, or just one other person that was with Jaden Christner?
I think there was a few people there, but I wasn't focusing on them.
Okay, so there could have been 2 or more witnesses other than Jaden Christner?
Yeah.
So did Jaden Christner just come up to you and strike you below the knee, or did you guys get into some type of a wrestling struggle where then somehow that happened?
I just pissed him off. I wouldn't leave right away, and he hit me. And then the state troopers showed up right at that moment. That's all there is to it.
So the night before November 7th, would it be fair to say that you were told numerous times on November 7th by Jaden Christner to leave the premises?
Yeah,
Did he tell you that he was the owner and he had the authority?
I believe so.
Did he tell you on November 8th to leave?
Yes,
Did he tell you more than once on November 8th to leave?
probably.
Is there any reason why you shouldn't be on the property?
It's like a habitual fourth, Rob. That's why it's 15 years. I believe that it was fourth. The offer was to drop it down to a habitual second. I believe that's what it was. I would have to rewind it to get that exactly, but I believe it was a habitual fourth is what he's charged with, but the offer was habitual second, and the defendant declined, which is why we're at the prelim now.
I mean, after that, I don't want anything to do with the property.
So when you had the police contact the night before on November 7th, did the police officer advise you not to go back to that premises?
I can't remember. I think I was told I probably shouldn't go back down there, but I don't remember. I can't say for sure that I was trespassed or legally told not to.
At any point in time, did you attempt to get into Jaden's truck on the premises?
On which time?
On the 8th?
Yes, I did. I popped his hood because I wanted the battery back that I was telling you I wanted back. I thought it might be in that truck, but he had more than one truck. I opened his driver's door, I hit the hood latch. I seen the battery wasn't there. I shut it, and I never touched anything else with his again.
Did you throw anything or vandalize anything?
I broke his mirror. I couldn't remember if I had done it or not. I had punched his mirror, and I'm sorry about that. But I also didn't get my battery back, so I figured we'd call it even and square on that.
Did you tell the police officer that Jaden had broke his own window?
I can't remember, to be honest with you. I don't know how that's even relevant at this point. I'll pay for it right now,
Because you're
cash.
lying.
Well, you indicated earlier you had a flawless memory of this. All of a sudden, your flawless memory has faded out on several occasions, but so the question was, did you tell the police that Jaden broke his own mirror?
I honestly don't remember that part. I might not have said anything about it. That's why I don't remember.
Did on the 8th, well, strike that. On the 7th, did anybody intentionally damage your motorcycle on the 7th?
Somebody did, but I don't know who it was. I
Okay.
can't say for sure. It was while I wasn't paying attention.
Do you recall if you told the police officers on the 7th that it was Jaden Christner that had damaged your motorcycle with a helmet?
I do remember that, yes.
Okay. So you do recall telling the police on the 7th that Jaden came up to your motorcycle with a helmet and started slamming the helmet into the motorcycle, then pushed the motor.
Yeah, I kind of get the feeling that he's avoiding questions on purpose because he doesn't want to make it look, worse on him. That's what I see happening here. That's why he sounds untruthful. But I don't know. The story is not good. It does not make him look good. He went to this guy's, where this guy was looking to get his property back by breaking into his vehicles, broke his mirror. We haven't even got to the part where the defendant actually hit him with the crowbar, at least from the defense side yet. So, this is a tough one.
Motorcycle onto its side. You recall telling them that?
If that's what I said, then yes.
But you're saying that you didn't see that happen on the 7th?
I don't know.
Well, with this, when you were struck with this metal pole, was Jaden Christner in a sense defending himself from you?
My back was turned to him, so I don't know how that would be the case. I'm not a fighter. I would never do that. I didn't want to start anything like that. I should have just left, but that's what happened.
Now, on the 7th and the 8th.
All right, defense is finally starting to ask some questions that make sense. It sounds like this guy's trespassing. He was attempted to. Even if it was his property, he's still breaking into the guy's vehicles. And yeah, he came out with a. He said metal pipe. Didn't they say it was a crowbar earlier? I feel like the metal pipe has come up a few times, but I feel like that it was actually described as a crowbar. So the defendant came up and hit him with the crowbar. I don't know. I feel like there's a piece of the story that we're missing.
The police responded to both of those situations, correct?
Yes.
And I just want to clarify, you never called the police on the 7th and you never called them on the 8th, correct?
My girlfriend called him on the 7th. I didn't call them on the 8th.
Do you know when your girlfriend called him?
It was sometime after I'd been there at the 10 or 11 or midnight mark.
Was it after you had already gotten home that she called him?
Yeah.
Okay. So if somebody called the police on the 7th while you were still on the premises, you're saying that wouldn't have been your girlfriend?
No, not at all. I don't know who did.
Okay. Did Jaden Christner tell you he had called the police?
I don't believe so.
When the police first arrived.
You forgot the DUI. He's all but admitted that he was driving drunk.
On November 8th, in the morning incident, do you believe that you and Jaden were, I guess you could say, like, square it off at each other, but just kind of like I don't know, face.
Okay, so those things are heavy, but they're not crowbar heavy, so I shouldn't call it a crowbar. Crowbar would have, I mean, yeah, we know what a crowbar is. That's a lot heavier than the jack pipe. Yeah, my jack pipe is, it's not. I mean, it's small. Even if I swung it as hard as I could, I don't know if I could do much damage with it. Just how it's not big. It's only what, 2 feet long, maybe. Probably weighs, I don't know, 6, 7 pounds if I would guess right. So I guess it's not even really that heavy. So I don't know.
To face threatening each other, would that be fair to say?
No, because I never put my fist up. I never wanted to fight.
Okay.
I mean, we might have been in each other's face arguing or yelling at each other, but I had never squared up attempting to initiate a fight of any sort.
Okay.
That is exactly why I don't commit crimes. I mean, if I'm not going to be very good at it, not even going to attempt it.
Oh. Well, so in regard to you and Jaden Christner, you were arguing, and so would it be fair to say that you both were upset and both were, in a sense, threatening each other?
I guess, but I didn't say I was going to physically do anything to anybody. I just wanted my stuff back.
Okay. But in a sense, both of you were talking in, like, I guess you could say, threatening or fighting type angry language.
Yes.
Okay. Now, you had said that the reason why you were so upset and even, in a sense, got involved in this entire incident was because you believed that property of yours had been stolen, correct?
Yes.
Now, what property was it that you thought was stolen?
It's not what I thought was stolen. It's what was stolen.
Okay, so what was some of the property that was stolen?
What relevance does that have to do with?
I'd like to know the answer to that too.
It was some chainsaws, a backpack leaf blower, a weed whacker, and a pole saw. So power equipment was stolen from my pole barn.
Okay. Now, did you report that theft to the police?
No, but I told him about it that night. That's why I was down there.
Yeah, no, you said that right. She'll have a chance to ask questions when Mr. Gibson was finished, or she'll get a chance to ask more questions. Redirect. You're absolutely right.
Do you believe that that if you had been drinking alcohol on the 7th, that it affected your ability to be able to remember the incident or to communicate with the police?
No.
And I think so you don't have, like, you don't remember at all how much you had to drink. Like, I think you said you don't remember, so you can't remember whether you had one drink or like 20, you can't remember?
Well, I wasn't drunk. I wasn't intoxicated, but I'd had a few drinks within a couple hours or a few hours prior to the incident.
Okay, but when you say a few, can you in any way clarify that? Or I mean, because a few could mean 1 to 20. I
I
mean,
don't remember, so I don't want to say the wrong answer. It was a little bit.
The drinks of what?
Beer. Maybe a 6-pack of beer throughout the evening before.
did you drink anything other than beer?
No.
Were you using any other controlled substances other than alcohol, such as cannabis or any other controlled substances?
No, sir.
I have no further questions.
Ms. Davis?
Just briefly. Mr. Stabler, did you see any of your stolen property at the house where Mr. Christner claims he owns or where he lives?
No, I did not. I didn't see any of it on the property.
Do you recall talking to the troopers the day before about driving home with your wife and seeing items?
I can't remember if I said that.
Did you get any of your property back?
No, I haven't. I wrote it off and just as a big lesson learned.
And just to clarify, you had your back turned when Mr. Christner hit you.
100%.
Where were you headed, or what was your plan at that point?
I was running away from him, essentially.
And then was it like right then that the state trooper pulled up?
I was hit and about 2 seconds later, I look up and he's walking out of his car right there at that moment. So I would imagine he had to have seen it even in his hand. The bar probably was that quick in an instant.
It was.
Yeah, I kind of picked up on that too, Saint. I feel like maybe I feel like this was maybe talked up a lot when he was talking to her, and now that he's on the stand, he's under oath, and he's maybe he's not exactly the best witness. Let's just say it that.
There medical treatment given to you at the scene?
I had refused it, but he insisted anyway. And I think a first responder had showed up and looked at me, and I told him I was fine.
No further questions.
Mr. Gibson, anything further?
Nothing further.
All right, thank you, sir. You may step down.
Now the people will call Trooper Kindenberg.
Good afternoon. You swear or affirm any testimony you're about to give in this matter will be true to the best of your knowledge and belief.
I do.
Thank you. Have a seat and state your name for the record, please.
KNDON Berg, BERG.
Trooper Berg, you are a trooper for the Michigan State Police, is that correct?
Just man.
And how long have you been a?
7 years.
All right. And on the 8th of November, 2024, were you on duty in St. Joseph County, Michigan?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you respond to an incident regarding a Jaden Christner?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you describe what you saw as you arrived at the scene?
When I arrived on the scene, I saw both Damon and Jaden. They weren't hands up, they were in each other's face, but they just were clenched. I thought they were either gonna get in a fight or just been in one.
At that point, did you separate the parties?
Yep, when I got out of my patrol car, I ordered them to separate, and they did.
And who did you speak to first?
I spoke to Damon first.
So when you spoke with Damon, what did you observe about his demeanor and his appearance?
Front of him was wet. He seemed upset about something.
What was the wetness on him, if you
He
know?
advised that he had a Mountain Dew bottle thrown at him.
It did it appear consistent with what pattern was on him as far as the,
Yes.
okay. And what else did you notice about his physical condition?
I saw what looked like a bloody scratch on the side of his face. The left side of his face.
And were there any other injuries?
He advised that he had some injury to his left leg below the knee.
Did you observe that area of his body?
Yes, it appeared that it was red and possibly starting to bruise.
And so did you,
No spoilers. Rob, don't do it. You also cheated. See, I know how this ends, and I didn't say how it ended. Don't do it, Rob. Don't give in to peer pressure.
call for medical assistance?
Yes, like I've seen it, check him out.
As you were there investigating, Did any part of his condition worsen, or could you tell?
Not
Any-
that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did you speak with Jaden Christner on that date?
Yes, ma'am.
And what did he say about this incident?
He said that Damon had come over to the house. He was going through his car. And that he got into an argument. He denied hitting Damon with a pipe at all or hitting him at all.
Did he mention anything about having a pipe?
He said when he arrived on, he said prior to me getting there, he had the pipe in his hand but dropped it.
So Jaden had said that?
Correct.
Okay. And so this was prior to you getting to the scene, which was Jaden's residence or property. Is that accurate?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So Jaden admitted that at one point he had this pipe in his hand.
Yes, ma'am.
And what was his intention with that, if you know?
I'm not sure.
He didn't say anything about why he had it?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Did you end up observing any type of metal pipe object that was described?
Yes, ma'am. There's about a 2 to 4 foot metal pipe in the driveway.
And how close in proximity to Mr. Christner and Mr. Stabler was that pipe?
Maybe 10 to 15 feet, I think it's.
Do you recall where Mr. Stabler's vehicle was in relation to the house and driveway?
Yes, it was parked on the side of the road in Jaden's yard.
No further questions.
Did Damon explain to you that he thought that this had something to do with stolen property of his?
Duval, I haven't seen this entire thing. I don't know. And it's been a while since I've been called calling. Now, if you're on your phone, my name sometimes autocorrects to calling, so I instantly recognize that you were talking to me. But yeah, I haven't seen this whole thing. I know how it ends. I did watch how it ended before I played it, but I've only seen until tonight about 20 minutes of this entire thing. So I don't know. We'll find out. Erica, thank you so much for the. I just 14 months. I clicked on it to bring it up, and then my screen just vanished. Erica, thank you so much for the 14 months. I appreciate it. That is awesome. Thank you.
Yes, he said he was out there the night before, but I didn't know anything about that incident.
Did he at any point tell you that he saw evidence of property that on that property that was his, like that he saw some of his stolen property?
No, sir, didn't.
At some point in time, did you search a vehicle to see if there was potentially?
All right, so you're close, Sparkle, but this is what it is. This is Colin. For those of you that don't know, I had a good friend named Colin in high school, and that's what I used to leave on his voicemail every day when I called him, and he absolutely hated it. But I thought it was brilliant. This is Colin. I love it. C Rex, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it, and I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you caught the live as well. Thank you so much.
Any of the property items that he was talking about being stolen?
I don't believe I did.
Now, there was another witness there that claimed to have seen the incident. Is that true?
Yes, I was told there's 2 witnesses when I arrived there.
Okay. Do you remember either their names?
I don't, I just was told the neighbor and then another gentleman in the house, I can't recall his name.
Okay. Did you interview the witnesses?
I interviewed the one in the house.
Okay. Did they say that they had seen what happened?
Neither of them said that they saw any assault take place.
In your investigation that day, did you discover that Damon had strike that? So you had, I think, previously mentioned when you were responding to this report on Friday morning, November 8th, at approximately between 8 and 9 a.m., you didn't have any idea that these two people had been the subject of a prior call by state police that had been there approximately 8 hours earlier?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. So photographs were taken of the of Damon as far as like marks or bruises that you thought you may have seen. Were photographs taken to your knowledge?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So those have been turned over, I suppose, to that those be available?
Yep, they're not answer file.
Okay. In your speaking with Damon, did he in any way seem like he was intoxicated from alcohol?
Not that I could tell.
Did he at any point seem like he could have been hung over or, you know, from a prior alcohol night the night before?
I didn't really, after he said he hadn't been drinking, I hadn't paid any attention to it because I had to deal with the rest of the scene.
Okay. So you had said you had spoken to these other two witnesses, and I guess I just want to clarify. You said that the two witnesses said that they didn't see any assault take place or battery.
Objection, Your Honor. No, we're getting into hearsay. Let it slide the first time, but I don't know what he's trying to get at here.
Well, there's a difference between saying I didn't see any assault and there was no assault. Yeah, what the other witnesses said would be hearsay. Was there a report made of your interview with the witnesses?
The witness with the homeowner or the other person in the home is in that report. The deputy that was on scene interviewed the neighbor and his statement's not in that report. I don't know if they pulled it.
Or was the person in the home Herman Moore?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do you know if there was a report made up for the neighbor, or is that something that might be available, or is?
I'm not sure. That'd be the St. Joseph County Sheriff's
And
Department.
who is that?
I can't remember the deputy's last name off the top of my head. It's listed in my report.
So you think it was a deputy with the St. Joseph County Sheriff's Department that interviewed the neighbor?
Yes.
Okay. You don't remember the neighbor's name or anything, do you? Okay. But I guess I'm not trying to ask like what the witnesses said or anything. I guess I just want the Herman Moore, the one that was inside, did he, in speaking with him, was he saying to you, I didn't see anything, like I didn't see what happened? Or was he saying like, I was witnessing everything that happened and I didn't see like any people like.
Well, you are getting a statement in. Yeah, that is hearsay.
Okay. All right. All right, I have no further questions.
Ms. Davis,
No further questions.
was there a residence here and a trailer on this property?
There was a bunch of buildings out back, I guess. I'm not sure. I can't recall exactly what all they were.
But there was some sort of residence at this address.
Yes, so there's a main house.
Okay. The complainant didn't know which leg he got hit in or where he got hit. You indicated it was the left leg below the knee. Was it in front or in back of the leg?
I want to say it was on the side to the front of his left leg.
Oh, 2 a.m. Sith. Hi, 2 a.m. Sith. Thank you so much for the very generous super chat. I appreciate it. And yes, I did hit 20K. I absolutely did hit 20K. And you should go tell Jedi, thank you for sharing the news. Oh, I'm not going to spoil it for you. Don't worry. Carrie, what's up? Good to see you.
Did you seize this pipe?
Yes, sir.
All right, I guess I don't have any other questions. Mr. Gibson, anything else from you?
I mean, I guess, just for 100% clear, I would assume that has, to your knowledge, has there been any fingerprint analysis done of the pipe?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Ms. Davis?
No further questions.
Thank you, Trooper Bird. You can step down. Anything further, Ms. Davis?
No further evidence to present, Your Honor.
All right, do you have any motions? Mr. Gibson, anything further from your position?
The defendant has asked to testify, but I've explained to him that I don't recommend that he testify, that this is not a balancing test.
There's a little bit more to that. He hit someone trying to take their property back. So he stole property from this guy, and the guy went to get it back, and then he got hit. It sounds like a mess. If someone stole from you and you know who stole it, would you go try to get it back? Call the police? I don't know why he didn't call the police and have them go get it back, or at least investigate it. I don't know. That's kind of where I'm stuck here. But he went to get it back himself. Caused some damage, broke into some vehicles looking for his stuff, didn't find it, and then got hit. That's the story.
And so the defense calls no witnesses. As far as argument goes, are you
Well, we'll talk about that for a minute.
Okay.
Mr. Christner and I have discussed these sort of things in the past, and he's an intelligent man. Mr. Christner, we've discussed the fact in the past that a preliminary examination is a hearing where they don't prove you're guilty or not guilty. It's only a hearing to establish that whether or not there's probable cause to believe a crime was committed and probable cause that you did it. And frankly, that's not a very difficult standard to meet. Very rarely does the defendant actually testify at a preliminary examination. You have a right to, but it's your lawyer's recommendation that you don't, and that you save any testimony you might have for any subsequent hearing. Do you understand?
Yeah, I'm gonna follow his advice, Your Honor.
All right, you're going to follow his advice
Yeah.
and not testify?
Yeah.
All right, thank you. Ms. Davis?
Thank you, Your Honor. The people would ask that the defendant be bound over on the charge of felonious assault. There is a tag along assault and battery with that. Believe that the evidence shown confirms that this happened in St. Joseph County at a period of between 11/7 when the first contacts happened to 11/8 to 2024 when the defendant struck the victim with a metallic bar. pipe in the leg, causing an injury to him. The defendant was ID'd by the victim. This was an unwanted touching. This was with a potentially dangerous weapon, a 2 to 4 foot metal pipe. The fact that all this other testimony came in about why the victim was there, what defendant was doing, the defendant admitted to the officer that he was holding the pipe at one point. He denied hitting the victim, but he didn't deny holding it. And thankfully, the Michigan State Police trooper was there within a few seconds of the strike happening, and he saw the two parties close in proximity to each other, and the pipe was found 10 or 15 feet away, which would easily be tossed to the side when you see a trooper pulling into your driveway if you've just struck somebody. Also,
no, this isn't old. This happened this past Tuesday. So if Tuesday's old, then yeah, I guess what is your definition of old? Also, she didn't quit being prosecutor. She was fired by the former elected prosecutor because she announced she was running for his job. So he fired her, and then she won. So she's back. And guess who's not a prosecutor anymore? Mr. Marvin.
So the presence of the liquid all over Mr. Stabler that he said was the Mountain Dew that was in his vehicle. The arguments can be made about his self-defense at some other point. For today's purposes, it's probable cause whether or not there was an act that could be a felonious assault. And we believe that the evidence presented does, in fact, support that. We would ask that the defendant be bound over as charged. Thank you.
Mr. Gibson.
Thank you. The alleged victim, his testimony, we would argue that the credibility of his testimony was lacking. He said, he couldn't remember which leg it was. So we have,
Yeah, Rob, I kind of agree. I did tell Debbie I was playing this case tonight. I sent her a text earlier and just said, hey, hope you're doing well. And I'm going to be sharing your case from Tuesday, your prelim. And she gave me a little bit of background information, which kind of, explains a little bit of why she's pursuing this case. I don't really want to share it because I don't know if that's ethical or not for her to be talking, for this to be out there. So I'm not going to say what she said. But it does kind of make sense why she's pursuing it. This does seems like a stretch though to me. About that's just my 2 cents. She's probably going to text me in the morning after listening to my comments and be like, "You're wrong." Maybe. Hi, Debbie.
He had said at one point that he remembered everything crystal clear, but then he couldn't remember other things. He said various things about his drinking and being intoxicated. But I think at one point he admitted to having approximately 6 beers the day before. So this is not a trial, so we'll leave it in the court's discretion, but the defense believes that the witness was not credible. Thank you.
Anything further, Ms. Davis?
And although the court is permitted to take into account the
All right, we got about 10 minutes left, so I'll give you the short. I know there's about 50 people. There's about 50 more people here than were here the last time I did this. So, the story is the victim had property stolen. He went to the defendant's house to recover his property. While he was there, he was breaking into the vehicles looking for his property and damaged one of the vehicles. I think he said he ripped off the mirror. The defendant then came and hit him with a tire iron. So the defendant was charged with felonious assault. I think that's exactly what, and then a battery charge. So I think, yeah, that's the short. Yeah, but yeah, the story is kind of, it's a stretch.
credibility of any witness. It's also a question of fact as to what happened. And I believe that the defendant, the victim in testifying gave what he could remember. This has been several months. He thought this was over with. He wanted this to be done and over with. It sounds like a contentious battle, and they live in the same neighborhood. I don't think it's been real comfortable for them. So, I believe that he gave the information truthfully today, that we asked him to answer questions. He answered the questions. I believe that the evidence presented is sufficient for the probable cause purposes. Thank you.
For what it's worth, I didn't think the witness was that credible either. He didn't even want to be here. He was flawless recollection of some things, and when pressed on some things, he didn't remember. He never testified that he ever got hit in the face. He barely testified that he got hit in the leg. He was clear that he was struck. Apparently it didn't hurt very much. He didn't know which leg it was on and where it was on his leg. He was, in his words, kind of drunk or kind of intoxicated the night before, but this isn't the night before. This is the next day. He's also a trespasser. He's been told multiple times not to be there. He's told multiple times to leave, and he refuses to leave the night before and the next day. So he brought this discord to Mr. Christner's house. He said some drink got spilled in his car that was already in his car. He told the trooper that the defendant threw a bottle of Mountain Dew at him. He apparently told the trooper that Mr. Christner beat on his motorcycle with a helmet and knocked it over, but then he declined to say any of that here today. And there was at least one or two more things where he was inconsistent with what he told the troopers and what he testified to here in court. So this isn't a very compelling case, but the question, as Ms. Davis indicated, is one of probable cause. Assault with a dangerous weapon, to wit, a metallic bar. It does appear. Now, the witness also, Mr. Stabler, felt the trooper witnessed the incident, but according to him, he didn't. We have a couple of other witnesses. I was never clear whether the defendant's girlfriend was with him the next morning, but I forgot to ask. She didn't come up, but there are at least two other witnesses. We don't know what they have to say about it. But for probable cause purposes, it does appear that Mr. Stabler was struck in the leg, below the knee, on his left leg with a metal bar. He started the whole thing. Mr. Christner was there on his own property, telling the guy to leave, and he wouldn't leave. But that doesn't, arguably, for probable cause purposes, excuse hitting him with a metal bar. So I won't have to deal with this anymore. Somebody else will. But Mr. Christner, by the barest of standard, I do find there's probable cause to believe that you hit this man with a bar. The tag-along charge of assault and battery just attaches to it. But his test, he didn't test. I think he said he didn't hit him, although the trooper indicated you had a bloody scratch on your face. So that charge goes with it, whether or not there's any evidence at this proceeding or not. So I'm going to bind the matter over on the charges in the complaint.
Your Honor, may we address the bond conditions to make sure that Mr. Christner understands?
Yeah, let's take a look at
I mean, Rob, yeah, I don't think he meant it that way, but it definitely came across that way. Oh, Judge Middleton. anyways, yeah, I mean, Judge Middleton's right. He got hit with he hit a guy with a bar. I don't know if they're, what self-defense or stand your ground laws are in Michigan. I don't know what they are, but he did hit a guy with a metal bar that, from what it sounds like, wasn't a threat to him. I mean, he was actively trying to break into his cars. Can you assault someone with a metal bar over that? That's going to be up to the jury, I guess. Yeah. But that's it. That's it. We watched it for an hour to be bound over because he did hit a man with a metal bar, and he's not denying it. There's no denying there. And so we'll see. Well, I guess we won't see because they're moving to circuit court. We're not going to see how this ends. There's no way. The only way that we see how this ends is if I drove up there and I watched it. I could report to you guys what happened. But this isn't a case that's worth the road trip for me. I'm hopefully going to the Lindsay Dineski prelim when that happens here soon. So that's going to be my next trip, not this one. There's still about 10 minutes left. Oh, no, there's about 5 minutes left. So let's finish this one up.
You don't live by it.
He's got a no alcohol condition, although there's no indication he was drinking 8 o'clock in the morning. He's got a no contact provision with Damon Stabler. I don't believe he wants any contact with him. Stabler came to his house. No firearms or other dangerous weapons, no assaultive behavior. And he is under pretrial supervision with community corrections. What else did you wish to address?
I just want to make it clear that our office does take bond violations very seriously and assaultive crimes. And there have been just today an incident that was brought to our attention just prior to the hearing. And I want to make sure that Mr. Christner understands that any contact or placing objects on the victim's property will be taken seriously. And I would encourage him to make sure nobody else on his behalf is doing anything to bother the victim or his family.
Yeah, what it says is do not have any contact with Damon Stabler. This includes phone, email, text, and letters, as well as personal contacts. Do not appear at his employment or residence. If your friends or relatives don't like Mr. Stabler, I give them the same advice, just stay away from him. This case is going to be next set for a status conference, which would be several months from now in the circuit court. Even though it's April, I don't expect the trial date would even come up for this by the end of the year, but I never know how things go once they get bound over. So you're going to be stuck with these bond conditions for several months. To understand?
Yeah.
And I think I'm accurate. You don't want to have any contact with the guy anyway.
Yeah, I don't, no, none at all.
All right.
No, I'm not even sure what she's referring to, so.
Well, that's the guy you just saw. So, all right, I'll sign the bind over. In fact, I'll do it right now and have you both executed. So we got it. Have Debbie and Paul sign that. I know David always wanted one, so once I have them all executed, I'll give it back to you and then you can do what you need to do with it. And
Well, it's not a waiver, so do you just want me to?
no, just sign your name. The prelim was held today and he's bound over on the charges and the complaint and warrant as charged.
All right, everybody. That's about it. There's still about a minute left of this. I'm going to let it play out after this pause. Just want to say a giant thank you to everybody for hanging out. I know I don't usually stream on Saturdays. As I said earlier, date night was moved to tomorrow night. So I'm streaming tonight, taking tomorrow night off. I will be back for Members Monday on Monday. And we're actually going to have a Members Monday. there's no plans with Skeptic this Monday, so we'll have the members on Monday. So I will see you guys then, and yeah, and we don't have a Rich tonight. Rich, I don't think got the memo that I was streaming tonight and not tomorrow, so I don't have his cool graphic. But since we're getting in the habit of thanking everybody again at the end of the stream, I'm just gonna walk through everything and thank everybody. So Phil, thank you again for the 5 gifted memberships and the super chat. You are awesome. Deborah, happy birthday to you, and Eileen, thank you guys both for your super chats. Erica for the 14 months, thank you, Erica. See Rex, glad you caught the live too, thank you. And 2 a.m. Sith. that name still makes me laugh. Thank you for the very generous super chat and for the congratulations. Thank you 2 a.m. Sith. All right, I wanted to ask, who do you guys want to raid? We have we can raid Credence and Mikey or Artie. You know what? Let's raid Credence and Mikey. I haven't raided them in a while. My fear about raiding Credence and Mikey is they're gonna stop streaming right when I raid. It's been an hour and a half, and they usually only go for about an hour and a half. But it's been a while since I've raided Credence and Mikey, so we'll raid them. But Artie is also streaming. Does that say birthday stream? Is it Artie's birthday? Okay, looks like we're raiding Artie. It's his birthday. I can't skip on Artie's birthday. So all right, Artie's birthday, we're going there. But like I just said, Credence and Mikey is streaming as well. So you have your choice, Credence and Mikey or Artie. Now, again, you guys are awesome. I'll see you guys Monday night. And until next time, bye.
Where,
I think just sign down my name, that way it's not a waiver.
okay.
I did. I didn't even see what content they were doing. I just saw that they were streaming.
Yeah, it isn't a waiver. Yeah, duh.
But this will
Okay.
give you a spot to sign other than that, so.
Yes, thank you.
Kind at the bottom. Close enough.
Yes, you only have to execute it if it's a waiver. Bond was set in the amount of $10,000 PR with.
You know what? I just made a decision. Since I don't have anything to do, if anyone wants to jump into Discord, we can have a conversation about this case. And I will tell you on Discord what Debbie Davis said to me. I can do it there. I just don't want to say it on here. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if I'm allowed to actually say what she said. I don't want to get her in trouble. I never want to get her in trouble. So if you guys want to jump in Discord, I will tell you what she said, and it'll give you a little bit more light on the situation. Okay, that's it. Now I'm out. Have a good night, everybody.
Conditions which remain in effect. Mr. Christner, you're good to go.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Yeah, I'll pause it for a second. I'm pretty sure Jedi is about to drop the link. Also, my Discord link is in the description of the video. I always put the Discord link in the description. Yeah, it's in the description, but I'm pretty sure Jedi is probably going to drop it here in a second. So I'm just waiting for it. There we go. Sly did it. Okay, thank you, Sly. I appreciate it. Okay, and Carrie got it too. All right, thank you guys. You guys are awesome. Bye.